that falls short of the average, but that's above the likes of, say, a Jim Bunning, a former Tiger great and Philly great, perfect game on Mother's Day, 1964. But, Sabathia will get in for the same reason that Yadier Molina's going to get in, the character clause.
Well, okay, but we'll get into that another time. But
Absolutely,
meanwhile, before Damon Knight comes on the program, did you learn anything from Lynn Henning?
Well, what I wanted to say before I delved into Schilling is I love guys like him who can evolve with the times. He may have come up in a time when traditional metrics for evaluating player ability in either sport, football, baseball, basketball, whatever he's covering may have been a little bit more antiquated. But nowadays, if you can still, show some respect for the means in which talent is evaluated now, I think that's the sign of a great writer. You can change with the times.
Well, he did. I mean, again, whether you get that point across or not, the main thing I wanted to bring you on with him is you're a young guy trying to learn from somebody that experience. And with that said, another young guy is about to call in. And we welcome Damon Knight to the show. Hi, Damon. How are you? Good evening.
I'm doing good, Scoop. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being on the program, Damon.
You're welcome. Yep.
So, all right. So the Red Wings are hot in Detroit, aren't they? So why don't you go ahead and let's talk about them for a few minutes.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, they just scored. Larkin, Mantha, and Bertuzzi. They just assisted on a goal that was Larkin. So they're rolling. So, but anyway, yeah, like you were saying, they're off to a really hot start. They've won 2 games in a row. It's looking like it's going to be 3. Mantha has 7 points, 5 goals, and 2 assists. Then Bertuzzi 5 points, 2 goals, and 3 assists. And Larkin 4 points, 1 goal, 3 assists. Like I just said, they just added 1 more. So all that goes up, and that's a total of 16 points combined. Their top line has 8 of Detroit's 9 goals this year. That's 60 points, and that's 25 points combining last year's season with the last couple of weeks of the season. So they're an incredible pace.
Yeah, I mean, last year the Red Wings started off 0-5-2, and they've already won a couple of games already, and now they're looking pretty good. I mean, let's face the reality. A year ago, they were young, much younger, without a doubt, but the thing is as these guys continue to get older and older, then hopefully Jeff Blashill is able to reap the benefits from doing that. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yes. When they grow into maturity, they'll know how to play hockey the right way, and limit mistakes and limit turnovers, and it'll just come with time, and I really think that we have a bright future.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, and I think that without a doubt, the Red Wings are, again, it's going to be a long season. Let's not kid ourselves, but they're definitely headed in the right direction. Ken Holland did not leave the cupboard bare at all for Steve Yzerman. Now it's just a matter of watching these guys gain the necessary experience that they need to mature as good NHL hockey players. So let's talk a little bit about Anthony Mantha. You say that he's had 5 goals, 4 on Sunday, and you want to talk about the top line. Go ahead.
Yes. Like I was reading off to you with the stats about how Mantha has 7 points this year with 5 goals in the past 2 games. That's incredible. He was saying that he needs to get his shots off more and then put the puck towards the net. With Larkin's skill, he's got plenty of speed and he creates opportunities with time and space. And Bertuzzi is a constant. He's a pest. He forces turnovers, which creates the opportunities, and then Larkin gets the puck and gives it to Mantha to shoot. And they're capitalizing on it right now, and they're all over the place. So. Blashill expects them to perform at a high level every night, because you got the Patrice Bergerons of the world, you got the Nathan McKinnon, and all these guys on top lines that are producing every single night. And if we're going to compete and get to the Stanley Cup, that's the ultimate goal, is to win it too, we have to do that consistently, and what they're doing right now is exactly what we need. So, we just got to stay hungry.
So, what, in your estimation, Damon, what do you feel impresses you the most about the Red Wings over the weekend?
What impresses me the most is who they're dominating over, like what teams they're playing, and how we're producing. Like, you look at the Nashville Predators. You know, the last couple of seasons they've been in the playoffs. They've dominated. They went to the Stanley Cup. They lost, but that's a pretty good team. And then you got, you know, like Anaheim tonight, Dallas before that. You know, Dallas is added on some really good talent, and Corey Perry. You know, and Joe Pavelski, and those guys are the real deal. Like, those guys are not, you know, just some scrubs they pick off the street. Those guys can play. Those guys are top players in the AHL, and so, you know, if we're playing against them against really good teams, we have a really good chance this year to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, again, I'd like to think if they keep playing hard. I think the one thing that has to really, for the Red Wings to get to the playoffs, so I really do believe that the goaltending tandem of Howard and Bernier,
Yep.
they need to be much better than they were a year ago.
Yes, you know, it's funny, you know, look, I remember a couple of years ago where everybody, even including me, fans of Detroit, wanted Jimmy Howard out of there. Now we want him in there. We want him to be really good, as you know, or be just as good as he is right now. And Bernier, I've seen some inconsistency, but I've seen some, you know, signs of progress, and I hope they can keep that up. So.
Well, I think the thing that's also important, though, with these two goaltenders is they need them, because I don't think they have anybody in their farm system that's ready to step up anyway. So they've got to make the best of their goaltending until they're able to develop some other future blood.
Yes, you know, yeah, when we brought up Mrazek a couple of years ago, we wanted him to be the guy, and unfortunately he's not with us. You know, he's with Carolina, but, you know, goalies don't come easy in this league, you know. You know, you look at Bennington from the St. Louis Blues. You know, I believe he was a third-string backup goalie, and now he's a NHL superstar with one Stanley Cup under his belt. So, you know, we got to keep growing and developing these kids, and I'm pretty sure the way that we draft, we'll land a really good solid goalie for the future. But right now we got Howard, and you know, we got to build on that. I think that we're doing a really good job so far.
One other point that I want to make while we have another 2 or 3 minutes left to go. Steve Yzerman has been known to work with young coaches. John Cooper turned out quite well for the Lightning, and Jeff Blashill obviously had to do the dirty work with this rebuild. So what is the attitude in Detroit about Jeff Blashill? Do you think that they're ready, they want to see him gone, or do they really feel pretty good about Jeff?
I think that they feel like, you know, we're sitting pretty good with them. You know, people have to understand that he is doing the best with what we got. And even though we're an organization that expects winning, you know, it's going to come with pressure, and we do want to win right away, but we got to deal with what we got, and I think we're on the right track, and I think Blashill is the coach. You know, I think he is the guy. He's coached them since Grand Rapids, and he's coached even the kids that we have on our staff right now in college. So I really think that he's the guy. Yeah, and I think other people do too as well.
Yeah, those are some excellent points. If you can find a guy that's been in your organization, then knows your players, and you can get them all to grow with one another. And the thing is, we can't lose sight of is these guys play hard for Blashill. It's not like they're quitting at all, Damon. They're really not. These guys are playing hard, and again, they got a good young nucleus. It doesn't matter when Dylan Larkin's going to become the captain. He will at some point. Or, you know, they might find another young guy that's more worthy of it as well. But it doesn't matter who's wearing the C. A lot of guys that are wearing the A on there, and Steve Yzerman will reward that. But I like Jeff Blashill. I really do. And it was not easy for him to take on this rebuilding thing and all, but I think he's handled it very well. And more importantly, I will be seeing him in 3 weeks when the Red Wings make their way down to Sunrise, Florida, to take on the Panthers.
Yes, that's awesome. You know, I met Joey Kosher, I've met Dave Lewis, and to be in the presence of like former Wings and current, there's nothing like it. It's amazing. You have so much respect for these guys. You know, you grew up watching, and your love for sports is from them. So, it's a beautiful feeling. And yeah, as far as the captaincy, you know, you're right. You know, anybody who wears that C will wear it with grace, and they're going to put in the blood, sweat, and tears to make sure that this team succeeds. And, you know, I'd like to see Larkin get it, and I would love to see, nobody talks about him, but I love Advocator. I think he shows what this organization is all about, you know.
Well, again, Steve Yzerman has a year to make that decision who's going to ultimately wear the C that he wore so proudly for many, many years. And, nothing wrong with a guy like him trying to get familiar with what he's got. So, any closing thoughts about the Detroit Red Wings early on? I know they're involved with a tough contest, 1-1 against the Anaheim Ducks. This is your opportunity for another minute or two to say what you've got.
Yes, they just scored. They're up 2-1 now.
Okay.
From the top, that was from the three guys I mentioned, from Larkin, Bertuzzi, and Mantha.
Okay.
It's amazing. Like what I'm watching right now is a big step from last year, in my opinion. And I think we're gonna relish in it. We're gonna make the playoffs this year, in my opinion.
Okay, well that's fair.
Yeah.
And so you'll have a little bit of time to come up with another one come Thursday night in your later time slot. So,
yes.
All right, Damon, look for some fresh material for the South Florida Tribune so that you can come on the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network. One of the things I like to do here with the program is I like to encourage my young writers to go out there and progress editorially because then they sound a lot more efficient. And Louis Addeo-Weiss, you have a chance to talk to Damon Knight. Why don't you guys interact for about a moment or two because you guys represent the future of what we're doing here.
Hey, how you doing, Louis?
Damon, what's going on, man?
Oh, not much, man. Just watching the Wings and just watching this training just keep rolling, man.
Yeah, it's nice to see somebody who exudes a passion for a sport the way I do my respective sport. But yeah, man, I mean, there, getting to what you said, back to what you said earlier, there is nothing like meeting, those athletes that you grew up watching as a kid, or you read about and saw on TV. I mean, it's almost like you're meeting your heroes, pretty much, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's exactly that. You don't know what to say to them. You're like, hi, it's just like...
Yeah, you quiver up.
Yeah.
I'll give you a tidbit real quick. I remember meeting Jeff Conine, and I grew up a big Marlins fan, so... he was a big part of our 2 World Series championship teams. And when I met him, he asked my name, and I gave him my cousin's name. So I totally blanked right there. So, I mean, that idea of freezing up, I can totally relate to, man.
Oh, yeah. I could have had the chance to meet Zenberg and Daniel Cleary, and I didn't get to do that. But, anytime I get the opportunity, I want to take full advantage of it. So it's really awesome. So, yeah.
Well, it's good that both my young writers are talking to each other because I know that I make sure that you guys have a chance to read one another's copy because again, you guys are regulars on the program and it's important to keep cohesion within the company. So with that said, okay, Damon, you have yourself a good night and we will talk in the next day or so. I look forward to seeing what you bring to the table on Thursday night here on the Sports Exchange. Good night, Mr. Knight.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Scoop. Thank you, Louis. Have a good night.
Take care.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.
Yep.
Our next guest is a regular. Bill Winters has been on the show quite a bit, and we'll have a chance to talk about football. And what's going to be good about Bill Winters is him and I are going to have a show that will actually debut tomorrow called Mad Mouth and Wild Bill Winters. And if you can only imagine, Louis, what that's going to be like, let me tell you, we're not going to hesitate to talk about anything in the world because this guy has been, to me, one of those types of people that has definitely been around the block outside of his football career. And, so he should be on any moment. So what are your thoughts about